What's up guys, my name's Kabir Ali and welcome to the Medical Mix. Today I'm going to be answering a really important question in tech. Is an iPad finally good enough to replace a MacBook? I've split this video up into 4 separate parts, which are listed right here. You can click around in the description to see which part you're most interested in and skip right to it. The first point we need to consider when comparing an iPad to a MacBook is budget. The base level iPad starts at $329, the iPad Air is $599, and the iPad Pro starts at $799. Now, keep in mind that you're still going to have to add accessories like a keyboard case or something else to it. That's not just the final product. So, you're still going to have to add a couple $100s for a keyboard case and also likely get an Apple Pencil as well. If you want some more insight about which iPad you should get, you can check out my video right here where I break down the iPad lineup and tell you the pros and cons of each and essentially which one's the best for different kinds of people. On the other hand, we have MacBooks. The M1 MacBook Air starts at $899, which is more expensive, but keep in mind it's a laptop, so you don't have to buy an external keyboard. Okay, let's go to point number 2, which is what can you actually do with these machines? Now, in my experience, I found that an iPad works for 99% of tasks that you're going to do every day, but there are a few edge cases where it doesn't work. These include using things like spreadsheets, CAD models, graphing tools, or coding. Those are just better suited to a MacBook, laptop, or PC. There are a couple other important points too. So, video editing works awesome on iPad, and I've edited every single video on this channel, including this one, on my iPad. But for more intense edits, I still recommend getting a full-fledged computer, just because there's some functionality that's not available on iPad yet. For context, I use LumaFusion, which is essentially like Final Cut Pro for iPad, and it does most of the things pretty well, but once you want to get into things like masking and doing specific color grades and things like that, it kind of falls apart. So I really recommend if you're getting into film production or video, get a MacBook or laptop. Now for students, I'm definitely going to give the win to the iPad in this department, just because of that handwritten notes functionality and being able to scan things in really easily and get all your documents in one place. It's so much easier on iPad than it is on a MacBook. Also, in case you're wondering, school software works perfectly on iPadOS. You're able to use Canvas, Mastering, and any other program you could think of. Pretty much everything works seamlessly. File management is another area where you might be concerned if you're looking to get an iPad, but I assure you, you don't need to worry because iPadOS has significantly improved the file management system, and you're able to connect external drives and SD cards just by using a USB-C hub. I have a pretty streamlined file setup system for my iPad for school. If you want to check that out, you can click this video right here. The last point I want to cover is your familiarity with the product. iPadOS is just essentially an extension of iOS, so if you already use an iPhone, going to iPadOS is going to be really simple. macOS is touted as a super easy to use intuitive system, but as I've started to use it, I found that it's a lot more difficult to get into than you might realize. There are definitely some quirks that you have to get around before you're able to use it consistently. Now, if you're already used to macOS, that shouldn't be a problem, but if you're a first-time user, maybe consider going the iPad route. That leads quite nicely into my final verdict. For the vast majority of people, I would recommend getting an iPad just because the touchscreen functionality, handwritten notes, and blazing fast speed make it an awesome everyday device. If you really do need to do some of those more technical skills, however, I'd recommend staying away from the iPad, at least for now. Alright everyone, that's it for me. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing. It really helps out the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the mix.